Here's what we're working on for Fox 59 News at 6.
Now at 6, the polls are about to close in central Indiana, and we have full team coverage on all the key races affecting you and your community. Plus, we're addressing some of your concerns over these voter text messages you may have received today.
Clear skies, chilly temperatures settling in tonight, but we're tracking a series of fronts. The first, a warm front. A windy, warmer Wednesday underway, but we'll look at a couple of cold surges. Early season Arctic air coming. I'll let you know when.
Personal portrayals. How a photographer is using the power of pictures to give veterans a new outlook on life.
And racing into the future, how Roger Penske could change the economic landscape in Speedway with his new vision for IMS. Now on the news at 6.
From Indiana's #1 news source, this is Fox 59 News at 6.
And most of the polls are now closed. It is 6 o'clock and it is election night here in central Indiana. The polls closing in less than a minute in most areas. And Dan, that means that we are heading into results mode.
That's right. Some live pictures here. If you're still in line, you can still vote. But as we said, the polls closing right now tonight. Fox 59 is your local election headquarters. We have crews all over the state covering races that matter to you and your family. But first, some breaking news in Delaware County, where the polls are not closed just yet. In 3 specific polling locations, they're extending the voting hours to make up for time lost this morning because of some issues. They had some startup errors causing a delay of up to 30 minutes in these spots you see here on your screen.
And we are just getting word, precinct 36 on the north side Church of God, that precinct will now stay open until 6:30. Precincts 25 and 26 at First Presbyterian Church, they will be open until at least 6:45. And precinct 29 at Mansfield Park will stay open until 7. So if you live in those precincts in Delaware County, you do still have time to vote.
Well, definitely some big issues there in Delaware County. We want to get an update on how the day went in other areas across central Indiana where the polls, as we said, are now closed.
Marion County, we've been talking about this all night. They debuted new voting equipment this election that allowed you to cast your ballots anywhere in the county.
Some questions, some potential confusion about that today, but Brett Cast has been out and about talking to voters. And Brett, for the most part, a positive response to this new system from what you've heard?
Yeah, Dan, the response that we've heard from people that have been coming in and out have been saying that it's been pretty good here. They just locked the door, actually, at the Benjamin Harrison Center as they have shut down voting here at 6 o'clock. And people have been coming in, probably as you noticed, maybe in the last half an hour, if you're tuned in here, a lot of people were in line because you can vote anywhere. So a lot of people coming here to this old presidential site because, as we said, you can cast votes anywhere in Marion County at any of the 273 polling locations throughout the city, regardless of what precinct you're in. And the way it worked, you came in, you got your, you gave them your ID, they gave you kind of like a number that you plugged in, and then they gave you a local ballot on that electronic kind of tablet that would populate your local ballot. You fill out your local ballot, and voters that we spoke with said it was a very simple process, very easy process that they had no problems with. And here at the Benjamin Harrison Center, they had plenty of people coming in, more than they were actually expecting. And there was also a large number of early voters this year, nearly double the number of in-person voters from 2015. That was last time we had a mayoral race here in Indianapolis. And that, of course, is the big vote tonight. And the polls have just closed. We should expect some results of that coming in within the next half an hour or so. But for now, I'm reporting downtown. Brett Cast, Fox 59 News.
Brett, thank you. As Brett mentioned there, all eyes are on the race for mayor in Indianapolis. Democratic incumbent Mayor Joe Hogsett seeking another term. He's being challenged by State Senator Jim Merritt, who's running as a Republican, and the Libertarian candidate Doug McNaughton. We caught up with all 3 earlier today as they voted to hear their final push for your vote.
You know, there's still work to do, whether it's in the area of public safety, whether it's in infrastructure, whether it's educational opportunity for our kids, whether it's economic development throughout our city. There's still a lot of work to do. And
this is a wonderful day in democracy, and I'm looking forward to being mayor on January 1st.
We've had a lot of impact on current policy and hopefully policy going forward. So no matter what happens in the election, I feel like we've made a big win here.
Now, again, we're still waiting on some of those early results to come in the race for mayor and elsewhere. We'll take you out live to the campaign's headquarters coming up tonight at 6:30. Fanchon?
And Dan, those of you in several communities were also given the choice to vote in favor of tax increases to benefit your local school districts. Danville, Lawrence, and Zionsville all have construction referendums up for vote this evening. If approved, that money will be used for things like school expansions, new safety and security features, as well as construction of new schools for your children to attend. A lot of those districts being faced with increased student population. Meantime, Danville and Zionsville both have operational referendums along with Center Grove. And those of you in Carmel voted on a school safety referendum as well. The superintendent of Carmel Clay Schools telling us today he is optimistically confident this measure will pass.
You know, the people want mental health supports for kids that are struggling. And, you know, with the numbers of kids with depression and anxiety growing and growing, and we have to do something.
And of course, the votes are now being tallied. As soon as we get results for all of these school referendums, you can count on Fox 59. We will be sure to bring you that information as soon as it comes in this evening.
Well, overall, seems like a fairly smooth day at the polls in Hamilton County, though fairly quiet from what we're hearing. No reports of any major issues there.
And we're grateful for that. For more on the voting experience there, let's check in with Fox 59's Zach Myers. Zach, is it winding down? I see tables being folded already.
Yeah, they are folding up the tables, stacking the chairs and the voting machines, and the different tablets will be shipped out of here very soon. I can tell you the only problem here today was one woman who showed up. She was at the wrong polling location. They had to direct her to a different spot. Other than that, no problems with the machines or with the system. They described a sort of slow trickle of voters coming and going here today. We saw a slight rush in the last 20 minutes or so, people trying to beat that 6 o'clock deadline, but they made it in and out of here with no real problem. It took about 2 minutes for most people here to vote, and most people voting here said that Carmel Clay referendum was at the top of their mind as they were casting their ballots. Just over 900 people voting here today at Northview Church in Carmel. Guys?
All right, Zach, thank you. We did receive a lot of questions from you today about some of these text messages encouraging you to vote. Some of you raised concerns because these texts, well, they addressed you by name. They were very personal. So we looked into this today and found out these types of messages are not against the law. We spoke to IU professor Marjorie Hershey, who's an expert on elections and media coverage of elections. She says national parties often gather data from local election boards and can even purchase your information from companies behind supermarket rewards cards and magazine subscriptions and then sell that info to political parties.
The two national parties each have humongous databases that cover at least about 170 million people apiece. That's pretty much the number of people who could be expected to vote in a given election.
Now, she said that type of communication will not be replacing traditional voter outreach. Door-to-door campaigning, she says, is still the most effective way to get voters to come out to the polls. Of course, we're going to be keeping tabs on all of the big races in your community. You can track the results in real time on our website, fox59.com/election. Also talking about our weather on this election day. Overall, not too bad out there. We did see our fair share of sunshine, but it's cooling off fast as we head into the evening hours.
Hey, you're looking live at downtown Indianapolis from your Fox 59 Tower Cam, and we do want to check in with the Weather Authority once again for more on the night ahead as this is starting to shape up, Brian.
Yeah, the sun is down. The temperatures are cooling quickly. It's cooler, drier air that moved in behind a front. The front departed early this morning. We had a pretty decent day. A little bit of a breeze still blowing. The numbers right now have dipped back into the mid-40s. Even though the temperature warmed to around 50 with the sunshine, this was still a below average day. That's a live look from the Golf Club of Indiana. Sun is going down. Still enough of a breeze, but nothing on the radar at this hour. Satellite shows the clearing overhead. The temperature's already 40 in Kokomo. That's good for as much as 11 degrees cooler than we were 24 hours ago. And early tomorrow morning will likely be down close to the freezing mark. So a chill in the air as we start Wednesday, but it will include a warm-up. Rest of the night, jackets, in fact, a heavier coat required. A windy warm-up in the works for Wednesday. But right now, what we're looking at is that the North Pole is open for business. The votes are cast, and it's a landslide. It will be an Arctic Express that heads our way. Dan and Fanchon, the coldest weather in 8 months is coming, and with it, the chance for breaking some cold records. I'll let you know when the cold will hit, how cold it will get, and why in the world is it getting so cold in fall? Answers coming up in just a little while.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Brian. Right now, we are working breaking news. This developing on the south side of Indianapolis. State Police just ended a chase here on I-465, and as you can see, traffic is still being affected by this. You see all the police presence there in the middle of your screen. Here's what State Police are telling us. Troopers went after a man in a stolen car. That man jumped out of the car and ran into the woods you see behind you there. As of right now, police are still looking for the man, the suspect who's on the run.
Yeah, they say he's wearing ripped blue jeans and a white shirt. Again, these pictures from some of our INDOT cameras today showing you the scene there on the south side, this chase. Perhaps you saw it today along 465, causing quite a bit of concern. We'll certainly update you as soon as we get more information from police tonight. Yeah, still an active scene there now. It is one of Indy's most high-profile unsolved murder cases, and tonight the mother of this 19-year-old young man killed in a shooting on the east side is pleading for answers. The deadly shooting happened during a violent 24 hours back in early April. Fox 59's Jesse Wells has this mother's emotional message tonight.
Visiting friends 7 months ago here at the Kingston Square Apartments, a 19-year-old died after being shot on the sidewalk, changing his mother's life forever.
You know how as a parent you have milestones for your kids? It's having milestones backwards. You know, the first birthday, not here. The first holiday, not here.
Deshauna Summers says her oldest son, Ezekiel, had been asked to bring some syrup to help a friend care for a baby he believed was his, although the motive for her son's killing remains a mystery.
He died trying to be a father. He was getting off work to go take care of this child. And while there, he was beaten. And somehow, some way, he got onto a sidewalk and he got killed.
Within 24 hours of Ezekiel's murder, 5 other families also lost loved ones around Indianapolis when 31-year-old Theron Rowley was shot to death along with 76-year-old John Boxley, 42-year-old Yolanda Bailey, 17-year-old Leandre Lane, and 21-year-old Tony Mason. So far, no arrests have been made in any of the half-dozen deadly shootings.
It's time for us to start looking out for one another. It's time for us to start considering the next person. See, nobody thinks about it till it's on their door. And the way it's going right now, it's hitting doors like a windstorm.
Jesse Wells, Fox 59 News.
Jesse, thank you. IMPD says they've cleared 56% of this year's homicides.
And if you have any information on any of these unsolved cases that we report on, please call Crime Stoppers. The number's on your screen, 262-TIPS. And remember, you can always remain anonymous.
Coming up next at 6, police arrest a suspected rapist who also works as a tattoo artist. And now they're also asking for your help again, in this case, identifying possible victims. We're going to show you the information we have that police want you to see. Plus, a traveling artist is telling the stories of our brave men and women in uniform, and he's using pictures to do it.
Gave me more hope that I could continue to live my life more productively.
Coming up, you're going to see how she's using the power of pictures to give others a new outlook on life.
And before the break, still waiting for some of those first election results to come into the Fox 59 newsroom as we track some of the key races for mayor in several local communities, as well as school referendums in 5 different districts.
And of course, you can track all of the results in real time online. Our election page is up. It is operational. Fox 50 News, fox59.com, of course. We're back right after this.